Welcome into the LFC transfer room. Myself, Jack, Chris, Chedu here today on this Friday. Just a bit of a relaxed chat. A lot of our live streams are either before a match, so you have the anxiety of that. After the match, you have the devastation if it's the Madrid game, or just the pure happiness after the Arsenal one. We're just going to be here today to talk about some Liverpool stuff, rumors, potential looks at the next few matches going to go in Madrid. But yeah, let us know in the comments how you're feeling about Liverpool. Just get involved, interact. It's a Friday night where those boys are here midday in the States. So just having a good time. Boys, how we doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm not too bad. I'm not going to be on tomorrow, so I thought it'd be great to just get on and have a chat with the boys ahead. But I've got a cricket season starting tomorrow, so that's going to be sick.
I've never played cricket, never watched cricket. Don't understand it.
It's American. You know what? We need to get cricket going in America, but yeah. I'm looking forward to getting this all started and looking forward to chatting Liverpool today.
Chedu, how you doing?
To be fair, honestly, I'm doing way better than I thought I would after what happened. But no cricket for me though. That's a big difference. But hey, we get to talk Liverpool. I think this might be the first ever time, for at least for me, because I know you've done it before, where you've gone live before a game, like a days before. So there's no possibility for me to say some stupid shit that'll come back and bite me afterwards.
Kind of like when you said Vinicius can't score, and
Asensio too. I said those two things, and turns out both of them scored against us. Oh,
good to see you, Patrick, here today. But yeah, we have a few things we want to talk about. Let's talk about the thing that shall not be named from, what was it, Tuesday? Yeah, the Madrid game, 3-1 loss. The only positive was that away goal, obviously. So we have that match next Wednesday. I don't know. We're not a couple of days removed. We had a very heated live stream after that. Head to LFC Transfer Room on YouTube if you want to see one of the most passionate discussions about Liverpool Football Club. That was a great time with Matty, Ben, and Steve. But now that we're removed, their emotions are a bit lowered. Looking back on that result, how do we feel?
I mean, if the situation was normal, I would be really I wouldn't be really positive, but I would be positive. We did get the away goal in the end, even though we were to be honest, I'm actually counting our lucky stars that we're still in the tie, because Real Madrid should be well and truly clear. Shouldn't be 3-1. It should have been 5 or 6. If we're being honest here, we only had one chance in the game. Look, it's possible, but don't get our hopes up, lads.
Chedu?
Honestly, what Chris said, I feel lucky that it was just 3-1. I felt like instead of 5, I felt like it could have been 12-1. But at least, and it's always that guy, Mo Salah. Even when we play trash, he always comes through and at least does something. Realistically, it's going to be tough, especially with our form at home. Hopefully, with the time away from the rest between the last home game to next week. Technically until tomorrow, because tomorrow we return home.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's enough to clear the players' heads and go back in with hopefully what is a win tomorrow. I think that would help boost everyone's morale up after the game against Madrid. And I mean, even though we played horribly and there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that had to be talked about the game against Madrid, I did see a little bit of positives too. I really like Kabak throughout the game. I think he was our best player, especially in those first 20, 30 minutes. I think he did quite fairly well. And I've grown confident with him a little bit. I think the first one or two games, every time someone went in attack, I felt a little bit shaky. Now I feel a little bit more confident of his ability. Even though I can see Chris just giving me judgy looks by everything I'm saying right now. But I genuinely think that Kabak has been doing well, has been growing well, and will keep doing well. Hopefully he can play his best against Madrid again. And really, which I didn't, of course, I wasn't here for the post-match, so I didn't get to say, but even though we were all happy to see Naby back in the starting lineup, it was more than clear that it was a gigantic mistake to start him against Madrid after being out from the starting lineup for so long.
Yeah.
And that's not a mistake that he's going to make again. He's going to make sure that the players that need to start do start. I can genuinely see Bobby starting the next game, even if it means either Diogo or Diogo getting benched, or even Manny. I can see Manny getting benched for Diogo.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on what selection he chooses for this weekend and how they do.
I'm surprised that you say that he's not going to make the same mistake again, because if I think of one thing with Klopp is that he's a stubborn guy, and that's a good thing in many times, but he will stick by his guns.
But the reason why I say this is because he subbed Naby before halftime. That clearly shows that even he himself thinks that it was a mistake not to start Thiago. And that there just shows me that he's probably not going to start him again. If he does, I'll be really surprised, because subbing him up before halftime, first of all, I love Klopp. I'm never going to talk badly about him, but it's a little bit of an insult to the player. It hurts his morale as well. So I generally can't see him starting Naby. Maybe in tomorrow's game, I can see that happening. But against Madrid again, I doubt it. I really, really do.
Would you start Keita in a match against Madrid tomorrow? I mean, we have one.
If we've got Madrid tomorrow, I'd be scared.
For Villa tomorrow. Would you start Keita tomorrow? Give him an appearance tomorrow. I would personally, unless on the comments, if you would. And I think that Keita definitely was a victim of coming back too early. I mean, not too early, come back at the wrong time. He's definitely fit. He's back, I think, with the ability to play football, but he just needed a match that was less pressure and not against Toni Kroos, Casemiro, and Modric. Chris, Keita tomorrow, yes, no?
Yes, for me. I think he suits a game against Aston Villa a lot more than he suits a game against Real Madrid, especially having not played in God knows how long. I think he was scapegoated, and I think the substitution could have been anyone. So I don't think it's a true reflection on what Klopp thinks about Naby. I love Naby Keita. You know, I think he is, when fit, one of our best midfielders. It's just a question of whether when he is fit and when he isn't. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter this week saying that he's been a flop, saying that maybe we paid a lot of money for him, but that's because there's a player in there. He's a much better signing than people give him credit for, and having a player like him in the squad is always going to be a positive. And it frustrates me seeing people turn on their own players because their own manager substituted them off.
Yeah, I agree. Villa tomorrow, they are not going to have Jack Grealish, which, I mean, I'm thanking my lucky stars, because that guy, I just, sometimes I'll wake up with just in a sweat in the middle of the night thinking about that match. Didn't
he have like 5 contributions in that 7-2 loss?
No, don't say those words. Don't say those numbers.
I mean,
those numbers did not happen.
I felt worse on Tuesday than I did after the 7-2.
No, I
didn't.
7-2 was the worst.
I did. I think Aston Villa were completely lucky in that game. Adrian Tax, remember?
Whoa. I think Chedu's anger about the fact that...
Don't forget Adrian Tax, lads.
Chedu's just furious with you. He's just frozen.
Adrian Tax.
I got so pissed that my internet just broke for a second there. But as I was going to say, listen, Adrian Tax or whatever. The 7-2 was just pure like, I was so pissed off that I stopped watching like at the 60th minute. I just left and played something because I couldn't take it anymore.
You had some serious wherewithal than you. So I mean, we talked about Madrid revenge from 2018. This is much more recent revenge, 7-2. I mean, I don't know. Do we try and beat them on aggregate 5-0?
Yes. Okay.
Give me a scrappy 1-0 or 2-1 every day.
Listen, I'll be happy if it's just like 2 quick goals and just do Atletico Madrid style, park the bus for the rest of the game. Just hope they don't score against us.
I hate that because whenever we absorb pressure.
That's also true. We crack under pressure as well.
Interesting question here. Neto possibility. I made a video on him a few weeks back. Self plug right there. Go check out my YouTube channel about him.
I mean, to be fair, I personally think that Wolves always rated Neto more than Jota. So if we were to go for him, it would be for probably a higher price than what we got Jota for.
And because we already, I mean, if Jota was Jota was to be sold again this summer, he'd be going for much more than he went for last summer. Especially with
definitely
10% up front, and like the incredibly dispersed payments of that. He would not be anywhere close to Jota's price tag. He'd be much more because he's very good. He's younger. I would argue he's not the same player as Jota. He's not a finisher. He's a creator. And another good point on Adrian tax. I saw a quote with him that he wants a new contract with the club.
Yes, I saw that too.
I do back my players, right? Like, and I do feel bad for Adrian because he had the great performance in the Super Cup against Chelsea, saving the penalty.
He won all of his games.
Gave away a penalty in normal time, though. People forget about that.
He saved the penalty.
It wasn't a penalty. It was never a penalty. It was never a penalty.
Yeah,
it was never a penalty.
I agree with this as well. Adrian tax is a huge deal, and the 3 deflections.
Because listen. Even then, we were being outperformed by an Aston Villa team that was about to be relegated the season before if it weren't for VAR.
You do forget we got to 3-2, and then straight after that, John McGinn scores one of the flukiest goals I've ever seen. If that goal doesn't go in, it's a different game.
Yeah, no, I do have a lot. I actually have almost more desire for revenge in my heart against this Villa side.
Same. Because listen, there's a difference between losing against Villa via whatever way they won, whether it was deflections, pure tap-ins, all sweaty goals or whatever, to losing to a Real Madrid team that are known to be winners. There's more humiliation in losing 7-2 to Aston Villa, whatever way we lost in, than Real Madrid 3-1.
So I mean, I think about it this way: is against Madrid in Kiev, we could point at Loris Karius and he could shoulder the entire criticism. I feel bad for him for that, but I mean, he had to affirm every bit of criticism for that fight.
Yeah, fairly.
It was fair, ultimately. But you know what? I agree with this. Actually, is some of the losses.
Oh, I do too.
Cut me down.
The Burnley one. Really well. I think I generally don't know. Even as Liverpool, I don't know which one it actually hurt more: the fact that we lost our home winning streak, or the fact that Everton beat us. Just in general, the fact that they somehow got at least a point against us. I
think that it's the Villa match is even more important this weekend because Everton have a match in hand and they're 2 points behind us. And if they get ahead of us in the league table, that will be their first trophy in 25 years, and I'm going to hate that. But yes, Chris and I decided to shave. Probably the better decision for me versus for Chris.
Boys, I've lost 10 years.
So you're now 8 years old as opposed to what, 18?
Yeah, bro.
No.
Oi, Steve, right? Steve, this man doesn't think salt and vinegar McCoys are the goat crisp. He can get in the bin. Your opinion's invalid, lad.
Chedu and I just have no idea what's happening right now. We're not.
Yeah, we don't know about that sort of stuff.
You people based in the UK in the comments, okay? Tesco meal deal. You get salt and vinegar McCoys, innocent smoothie, pasta, feta cheese and mozzarella. Feta cheese and tomato pasta. You get that for £3, boys. That is a deal and a half. Go and get it right now if you live in the UK. Tesco meal deal, 100%. Especially if you're a student. Sorry.
Chedu, did you ask? I didn't ask.
Yeah, well, Shay asked, didn't he?
Daka Kanate from Del Wall. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing your name. Apologies if I did. I would love these 2 transfers.
Well, I mean, I thought that Kanate was dead in the water up until like 3 minutes ago when Chris told me that actually the Chris Fuck said that it's still possible. Yeah. Would be a good transfer. His injury list is a little bit worrying, but hey. And Daka, I think he's a fantastic. He would be a fantastic number 2 for whichever striker we have. Yeah. He's a fantastic goal scorer. We've seen him in his league just tear it apart. Yeah. I think that someone like that instead of listen, sentimental merchants. I'm sorry, but I do want Origi gone, and I think that Daka would be fantastic.
I
Instead.
don't think you're going to find much opposition to that statement here with Chris, who
Thank God Matty isn't here.
Dim ochor i, he won Liverpool the Champions League and the Premier League.
We're slandering Matty here, and he's not even able to be in the comments.
Matty, we love you.
He can't even defend himself in the comments. Cowards, what you are. No, Daka, I think he'd be phenomenal. He's young. He's got a lot of potential. He could be the number 2 to Firmino.
He's a Mane fan. He's a Mane fan and a Liverpool fan, I think.
In general.
Yeah.
And I think that Konate, so reportedly, what was it, 32.5 to 40-something million euros for Konate. That's it. Him and Kabak, and you've got easily that right center back slot next to Van Dijk covered. With Gomez as well. We don't know where his injury is going to take him because obviously he's been out for so long. He's going to be out for so much longer. But I don't know. I think that it's going to be – those would be very, very good transfers, and I agree with that suggestion. Let's talk about actually Erling Haaland's cousin because that's been something that's been kind of popping up. He's got, 60 goals and 30 youth appearances?
64 goals in 37 games.
Yeah, something crazy like that. Him and his cousin are just made in labs. They just kind of figure out how to make superhumans who are cyborgs. 17 years old, right?
Yes, 17.
Are we taking I don't know.
Yes. It's Albert. Albert
Cousin.
Albert Tjalland.
Albert
Yeah,
Tjalland.
Albert Tjalland, yeah.
Or is it Challand?
Who knows? Who knows?
Albert.
If we get him, that'd be massive. That'd be massive.
Listen.
But we don't know what it is. Dominic Solanke had an unbelievable youth record. So,
but 64 goals in 37 games is it's different gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jump targets, how soon could they be happening? I think that Konate could be happening very soon because it's a release clause. They don't have to be like,
no.
How are you doing?
I can't see
it for Konate is they're not going to do it for a while because of the medical, because he's had the knee injury that's kept him out for most of the season. So they're going to want him to be tested medically wise at the end of the season. So they'll know, all right, he has an entire summer of not playing match football week in, week out. So that's the one I could see happening the earliest. And maybe Kabak being announced as a permanent transfer the next few weeks. Like if we lose to Villa, they may just decide, all right, Sunday we're just going to sign Kabak, so the narrative changes a little bit.
I don't think they will do anything until the window opens, if I'm being honest, because we've got to wait on Schalke are going down. Looking at it,
that's true. If they go down, it's less money.
We could get him cheaper he's looking at like 10 million quid or something like that.
Is that actually a thing?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not a clause, but it could happen. And lots of good stuff. I just can't see it. I can't see anything happening. It's Liverpool at the end.
Yeah,
of the day.
it's not really a Liverpool thing to just sign players before a transfer window. So I really doubt it's going to happen.
I want to talk about this if we can.
Yes.
I know it's not transfers related, but I've done something similar to this on my channel, my Total Sport channel. If you want to go check it out.
Plug.
But personally, I think it's a really good thing that social media is happening like this. It's a good, statement, but it's not going to create any action.
Yeah,
there needs to be some sort of ban or something. Look, we don't know what we can do. It's only the clever people with the algorithms that know how.
The problem is that really there's, at least in my eyes, from the way I see things, there's really no actual answer as to how to fix the problem, which it's a horrible problem, of course. It's something that shouldn't happen, but
you can't just
solution was
that kind of thing happens.
But I've heard a lot of
Here's what I'm going to say is people who feed into this and who give it air, give it attention, goad it out, because these are people who want attention, they want reaction, and if you take the air out of it, don't give them that reaction, what on earth are they doing it for? The hate in their heart? Then guess what? Then you just got a segment of the population that has that, and that's never going to change. But what you can do is you can change the way it's talked about, and social media companies need to do a lot more. I've seen Jordan Henderson did a fantastic thing recently. I forget what he did specifically. He handed over his social media accounts to a UK
Cyber Smile. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. So he's doing a great job being a leader, not just in that, but everywhere. But the biggest thing you can do is just promote positivity yourself. We are lowly users of social media. We cannot do the big boy things. But we can just be positive for ourselves. I actually brought this up specifically because of if we want to move on. I don't want to move on.
Yeah, move on. Let's move on.
All right.
Okay.
Gravenberch.
Yes.
He's on my FM save very next to me at Liverpool.
Of course.
24 years old then. And so I think that he'd be a phenomenal bring-in. And I know this is Matty really kind of bigging up a guy that I think Matty watched one foreign league match, saw a player he liked, and completely changed his
That's how sound he is.
But Gravenberch is great. He's what, 18 years old? I'm gonna pull up his stat right now. Gravenberch, someone talk while I look this up.
Yeah, he's a starter now for even at this day. I don't know if it's Ajax or Ajax. I'll just say however it comes out.
Yeah.
Ajax. Okay, thank you. But he's been fantastic for them. A starter at so young. He will be a fantastic player. He's had some Netherlands caps already, which is fantastic at such a young age. And I think Matty's saying 30 million in the chat. I don't know how true that is. If it's true, then it is quite a big amount, but I think it's the kind of player that we could get, seeing how Liverpool have done business in the past.
By the way, Dawal, if I pronounce your name right, you can take what the Echo says with a pinch of salt, mate. They were still saying Thiago's not going to happen when he was through the door. So I can't.
Hey, man.
Here's my thing on the Trent debate is how many elite world-class right backs are there in the world? If you listen to Twitter, you think the likes of Reece James, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Kyle Walker are there. They're garbage what they are. Great right backs in world football. Kimmich when he plays there.
But he doesn't. So. No, I wouldn't say Carvajal.
Maybe not anymore. Cancelo definitely is very, very good at right back.
He's been playing at left back this season.
Has he? I mean, he's just a good fullback. He's a great fullback. He can play right back or left back. I'm definitely forgetting several names, but there are very few. Keep him there at right back.
Yeah, in my opinion, 100%, 100% for me. Got others. Got another one here from Dan. I quite like this concept. Right, we've got 40 million, which will make it, you know what, we're FSG, you know, if we were FSG, well, let's give us, say, 70 million to spend. All right, Jack.
What kind of FSG are you, bro?
I'm a happy FSG, bro. I'm 14, 15 FSG after we sell Suarez.
So here's what I want to see is a serious overturn of the squad. And I'm assuming that my series went off. My apologies for that. I'm assuming that we're talking about net spend, not just you only have 70 million to spend.
Wow, you can swing it whichever way you want, mate.
It's just 70 million.
All right, you boys are going to have your feelings hurt. Are you ready for players who need to leave this summer? Joel.
No.
Yeah.
Joel Matty.
Yeah.
Nat Phillips.
Yep.
Reece Williams.
Yep.
James Milner.
Yep. Wait,
Jorginho
James?
Wijnaldum.
No.
James
Yes.
Milner. Jorginho
No.
Wijnaldum.
Yes.
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yes.
Shaqiri.
Yes.
Bakary.
Yes.
Those 8 will be leaving.
Not for me.
I don't know about Milner, bro. No.
I'm going to disagree with Reece Williams as well because he's only 19.
All right, Reece can stay. All right, we're down to 7.
And Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No.
English quota.
No. Then okay, we can sell Oxlade, but Milner stays. That's
Milner makes like 5th most of the squad.
Do not insult James Milner in front of me.
No,
mate, Milner will stay, in my opinion.
Good.
And then he won't play,
Chedu.
and then go in the coaching role. There we go.
Here's what you're doing. You are actually being more of an insult to James Milner than I am, because James Milner, he's 35 years old, right, and he can play Premier League football. So he should be going to Leeds United, back to where he started, £5 million, and he should be making us some money, getting off the wage bill, go and be a leader somewhere else. Play Premier League football for last season.
Sorry. If you see the way Leeds play, do you seriously think that James Milner will fit into that?
Oh, of course.
No.
You have to be rapid to play for Leeds, brother. And he may win all the running tests for stamina, but he's slow.
No.
Listen, Milner, if I were FSG, I would build a Milner statue outside Anfield. That's just me, though. I don't know about you guys.
And so who would I bring in? Martin Odegaard. Love that guy. I want him in.
Sorry.
Rafinha, look like I bring him in. Patson Daka, bring him in. Kanate, bring him in. Kabak, bring him in. And those 5, I think, will probably fill up the whatever we get from those 7 and then 70 million easily.
Not for me. I
can agree with the players coming in, but going out, James
I also
Milner.
think you'd be spending a lot more money than you expect with those players as well.
So here's the thing, though. Let's think. So Rafinha,
I'd be saying
million.
50 to 60 million.
50 million. All right, so that's 5. Kanate is what, 30 million pounds?
30, 32.
80 right there. So let's assume that's about how much would we get from those 7 that we sold, right?
What
Around 300 million.
What? We'd be struggling to get 50 from those lot.
If you're selling Milner, you should sell him for at least 150. That's just me, though.
Oh dear.
Who else was I saying? All right, so Patson Daka, he's about 20 million pounds. So that's 100.
Yeah.
Odegaard, I'm getting out of money.
50 million plus.
No,
50 million
I don't think 50.
I'm thinking 40, and then 18 for Kabak. So that's all in all 160. So what that means is 160 total plus 70 million pounds we have. That means we need to make 90 million pounds from Oxlade, from Matip, from Nat Phillips, Milner, Ox, Shaqiri, Origi. Easily.
I want to ask you, how are you filling the English quota?
I think we can.
With spirit.
Youngsters.
Can we tell her? Can you
Yes.
now? Please be an English person.
No,
Nico
it's
Williams?
not just English, it's British. and
With
homegrown.
youngsters. With youngsters.
And don't forget, Brexit, okay, is going to be a big impactor on transfers. So you have to be an elite athlete to come in. I don't know whether they'll classify Patson Daka, to be honest, if I'm being honest. So that'll be a different one because
Daka will walk his ass to the FA and say, "You don't think I'm an elite athlete?" And then he will beat them all to death.
he's Zambian and from the Austrian Bundesliga. So like it's going to be a difficult one. So that's
Can I go next?
Yeah, no, I want to say really quick, and then we'll go to you.
Bet.
Memphis Depay was brought up by Shea. He does not want him, and then Dan brings him in as somebody he does want. Let us know if you would take Depay as a former United guy. He's not a free.
Yes.
All right.
No.
Forget
Yes. Yes.
He played for United. He sucked for United.
It's not about the fact that he played for United. It's the fact that he'll want 300 grand a week. No
So
chance.
what? So what?
Yes.
No transfer fee. No transfer fee.
No. They'll break
Yes.
break the wage structure. Not for me.
I'll break his legs if he does so. I don't care.
You think that big Michael Edwards can't figure out a way to talk down that price?
Yeah, but no, he will because it will make it performance related. But it's still that amount of money for a player that won't play.
You don't think Depay would play?
Not that often. No, he doesn't get ahead of our front four for me.
14 goals and 31 appearances in Liga on this season, and 6 goals and 8 appearances in last season's Champions League.
Nope.
He's good, man.
He's good, but he's not that good, bro.
Listen, come.
He's entering his prime. He would be a borderline starter for us, and on a free would be a tremendous transfer, tremendous piece of business.
Yes. On a free, it would be amazing. Yes.
Not on free though. The amount of money that we'll be paying him for sitting on the bench.
It's still a free transfer.
FIFA boys, it's going to cost so much money to get him in.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Would you take Depay?
Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Do you want to go on, Chedu? You do your dream transfer summer.
All right, here we go. This is me being totally unbiased and actually realistic. Okay, Adrian, 60 million out. No, I'm kidding.
Chedu, shut up. Right?
I'm kidding. Okay, so I think Oxlade out is one that has to happen. As much as I love Matip, his injury record just hasn't helped us at all. I would sell him too. I think Nat Phillips, his price tag has definitely gone up a lot, and I generally don't see him getting ahead of Virgil, Joe, Kabak, and Konate if he comes on. So he goes out too. Adrian out, if it's on a free, definitely, because he's now gonna sign a new deal. I don't think anyone wants that to happen apart from himself. Origi out and Shaqiri out. Those would be the ones I would say. It's essentially everything that Jack said except Milner, because Milner top tier. In Depay, hate me, Chris. Depay coming in. I would love that to happen. Daka coming in too. Daka 20 million. I can see that happening quite easily. Konate for 30 again would be good. I wouldn't say Odegaard personally. I rate him as a player, but I don't know.
Wouldn't fit us.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit our system. That's the problem.
What Coutinho played in the system? Is Odegaard less of a
Coutinho played in central midfield. I can't see Odegaard going there, bro.
Exactly.
Why not?
Coutinho and Odegaard are two very different players, Jack.
How so?
I think Odegaard doesn't do the work that Coutinho would do, or did do.
I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more.
Not for me. He's not my man. He's not the guy.
Yeah, no Odegaard. Gravenberg, I throw Gravenberg in. Even if he doesn't really fit right now, he's obviously way younger, has way more potential in my opinion than Odegaard has, and it's a player that Klopp can really work around. Gravenberg.
Gravenberg. Birch?
Yes, that one. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Dutch names. I'd say see Harvey Elliott out on loan to a Premier League team. No championship. I want him to play in the Premier League. I want to see how he does against the big teams week in, week out. I'd say I generally want to see more, even though I can really see it happening. I would love to see more of our academy boys show up on either in the championship or even, I don't know, in a Carabao Cup game or something like that, on one of those useless games that club just couldn't care less about. Would love to see some of the boys play there, like Leighton Stewart. I think he's fantastic.
He's sadly
injured. Yeah, he tore his ACL. He's going to be out for a long, long time. But before that, was destroying the under-18s, went to the Premier League 2 and was doing well there too. Musialowski, I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. He's going to be great. Would love to see him do well too. We have a lot of talented youngsters that just don't get enough attention because they play for the academy. But I think that there's some really, really good talent that I would like to see put forward, either out on loan on like a good team, at least a good team for them. But yeah, Camavinga.
I've got an interesting personal story on this.
Go for it.
So 2019 summer. I was about to say last summer. 2019 summer, I was in France, and I went to Rennes Stadium to go for a match there. And it was at 9:00 at night, and they were playing Paris Saint-Germain. And there was a kid in midfield called Eduardo Camavinga, 16 years old at the time. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know if he was 16. I didn't know his age. And he was man of the match. Rennes beat PSG 2-1. And he played Verratti off the park. You didn't see him because he was man marking him. He is one unbelievable talent, this kid.
I would happily say that he's a generational talent, to be honest.
I wouldn't go that far. However,
what young midfielder is better than him?
There you go.
I think the only one, like in terms of midfielder, if we're putting the midfielder category, is Foden. But they're different.
But Foden's older. That's the thing.
They're different. But yeah, I think he wouldn't come to us purely because Fabinho's here. Fabinho's too similar a player. I think
in my honest opinion, I can't see if he'll leave. Well, when, because he's gonna eventually leave Rennes for a way bigger team. I can only see him on like a Real Madrid or even a PSG.
Yeah, I think definitely he's just fantastic, unbelievable.
Yes, player. He is. I think generational is the word to describe him. I mean, the dude.
Yeah.
Is 18 years old and he's played now.
He's been a starter for 2 years.
I reserve generational for Mbappe, Haaland, and Foden.
I think if he was in it, okay, think about those three guys: PSG, Borussia Dortmund, Man City. Those are three huge clubs. The only reason he's not talked about like them is because he doesn't play for a big
club.
He's
playing for a team that he had to. He chuckles right there. He carried Rennes to a Champions League spot himself. What other player from there did you see perform even close to as good as he did? at such a young age.
I mean, would I love him? Of course, but it's the case of he's 18. He wants to play.
Yeah.
Right after.
Matty, of course, has to come in with the Curtis Young stock. Throw him into a generational pile. Why not?
I mean, that's why I hate the word generational. Let me give you my generational players. You guys ready for
Go
this?
for it.
So
Milner.
players under the age of 23 who are going to be around for the next decade plus. Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden, Eduardo Camavinga. In that order.
Wales Golf Madrid in that order. Yeah. And Nico Williams. Don't forget.
And Nico Williams. My apologies. He's 6 up there.
Yeah, right. So this is my window, okay? And I'm convinced. I'm planning this out. So there would only be 3 outgoings. No, actually, no, 4 outgoings. It would be Adrian, Matip, Shaqiri, and Origi. Those would be the 4. And Wijnaldum, of course, the big fraud.
Oh, true.
And my incomings, I would go Kabak, Kanate, and then Daka. That's all the 3 we need. We don't need more than that because we need to, as Chedu said, allow our 3 in. I think midfield-wise, we could have Trent as a backup. Matty, shut up. He doesn't stay, bro. He doesn't stay.
Genie, no.
How are you going to offload, Chris? Do you think that we are going to offload more players than we bring in?
Yeah.
That's
only 5 players. I don't think we will do wholesale changes because that's only proved detrimental.
Only way I can actually see something like that happening is if Taki and Harvey both stay.
I think Taki stays.
No, listen.
Because
I like Taki, but the reason he was brought in is for the Japanese market.
No. Yeah, maybe. But the only reason why he's gone to Southampton is to get game time. Then he'll come back to us. Like we deliberately said, you're not having a buyout clause here, lads. Because if we'd have been going to sell him, I think we'd have put a buyout clause in there. I think he's coming back next season to be on the bench again. And when Origi goes.
Yeah, sure, I agree with that. But that doesn't change the fact that who's the backup for Salah?
Daka.
Who's the backup for Mane? Who's the backup? Your midfield trio, right, has Fabinho.
Yep.
Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Milner, Jones,
Thiago.
Keita. Milner?
Yeah, Milner stays.
7?
Yeah.
7 for 3.
Yeah.
And that includes Oxlade, Keita, and Milner.
Yeah. Because
Oxlade
Oxlade-Chamberlain can also play right wing and centre forward.
No.
You can.
I can't. Yes, he can, but I can't agree with Oxlade staying.
If I can make a point,
why can't you agree with Oxlade staying? He's done nothing wrong.
Oxlade in or out? No. Well, here's the thing. He's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing right. He's done nothing in.
Exactly. He's done.
Mate.
There we go.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen. People say he's not performed since 17-18. Last season, he scored 7 goals. Second top scorer. Our 4th top scorer after the front 3. He scored in the Champions League. He came on this season. Personally, right, if you look at our injury record this season, we can't sell enough play. We can't sell more players than we bring in. We have to maintain the squad that we have because most of them have either been injured or have an injury record. So they're getting back to fitness. If you sell them now, they've got a poor value. So realistically, from a business perspective, it's just wrong.
I mean, even then, he wouldn't. Even if we had sold him. Like, even if we kept him and would sell him next season, he wouldn't still go for that high of a price because of his injury record and because how often he does get injured.
But
so
if you look at his injuries, they're not like because of being injury prone. They're really unlucky. Like seriously.
Yeah, I mean, being injury prone and being unlucky are oftentimes very synonymous in the way we talk about things.
I don't think so.
I think it's unfair.
I think Keita is injury prone because he picks up little injuries here and there all the time. Oxlade-Chamberlain's picked up some vile long-term injuries that you can't. He's playing with Joe Gomez.
Yeah, let's talk about Harvey Elliott a bit. I think that he has the serious potential to be a comfortable backup for Salah, but I don't want that. I want him to start week in, week out for Norwich when they get.
Yep.
Perfect for their system. Perfect for him. He'd be very good for them. And then the year after that, he comes in with 2 years of Championship Premier League experience at the age of what would he be 19 at that point? 18 at that point?
Yeah, 8. I think
now he's just had his birthday, so
he'd be turning 19 coming back to us. I mean, it'd be brilliant in every way possible. So yeah, I would love to give him game time. I'd love to see him wear the Liverpool shirt because he's a brilliant, brilliant player, one of the best in the championship right now at the age of 18 now. But needs another year, I think, to. I think that there's I hate the Premier League experience argument, but there is a need for him to be physically developed because he's a smaller player and he's going to take those challenges. He needs to be stronger, develop himself more. Not that it's a problem with him, but he's 18 years old. You're not.
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot. We could also sell Harry Wilson and Shea Ojo in the summer as well.
That's true. Those
guys want to go for like £7 million each, just knowing how good my club is.
Exactly. But yeah, he needs
interesting
experience.
Actually, I dig that mentality that he wants to. I mean, Salah is the best right winger in the world, and he wants to besides Messi, and he's ready to just go at him. I love that mentality. So I would be really happy if he had this mentality and did this. But I don't know. I definitely
he needs game time in the Premier League. He badly needs it.
I just want to bring like José, because he has commented this about 4 times. I feel sorry for him.
I find it funny as hell, Upamecano, because Bayern have ran that division for years. And they will continue to run it because they're buying all the best players, and that's why I fundamentally can't take it seriously either. Is because
it's a monopoly.
Never see a team that just won the title in the Premier League grabbing the best players from their rivals.
If Manchester City wanted to do it, they could. In my opinion,
no, they couldn't.
Yes.
How are they getting Salah from Liverpool?
Well, if it was financially viable, which it would be for them, but in Bayern, what they do is they wait for players' contracts to run down. They've got basically probably an agreement with all of them. Like, if you run your contract down, it'll come to us for free. Like, I think if City had a similar agreement with some of these players, I reckon like Bayern do it underhand, then I think they do it. To be honest.
But the thing is, players would get crucified. In Germany, it's just not the same.
No, in Germany they do as well. Everyone hates Bayern Munich.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the difference is that Bayern have been doing this for decades now. So everyone knows how it goes down. Everyone knows how it works, and they're already used to Bayern stealing every single one of the bigger players. If City just start doing it, of course, it's not going to be the same as Bayern. But if you give them the same amount of time, it's going to be.
Leipzig could have been different. They have the money. They have.
Everyone hates Leipzig as well, though.
Everyone hates Leipzig as well. But you know what? Sometimes you need to be hated. Why are your rivals going to love you? Because you're bad.
That is true. But
that's why everyone loves Leicester.
I hate Leicester, man. I can't stand.
I think you're the first person I've heard say that.
I hate
most people I know love them.
Well, yeah, right. In terms of when you ask any match going fan, they are bastards. Their fans. They're horrible. They did loads of Sun stuff, and when the Cardiff player died, they did like loads of plane signs and stuff. It's like, oh my god!
I'm not one to paint I'm not one to paint entire fan bases based on the actions of few, but I mean, I think, I just don't like Leicester because they couldn't draw or beat City in the 1980s. Ian Nacho is an agent. That's also why I want Harvey Elliott loaned out. I want that man to be an agent. He won't play against us, but he'll bag a hat trick against Man City, take some points off of them, take some points off of United, Arsenal, the whole lot. Basically, I would just love for us to just send one player to every team in the division that are not our rivals and just take points off of our rivals.
Have them score on goals in important games.
Actually, I didn't say. I'd like to loan out Nico Williams as well.
No, but who do you have a right back?
You use Milner.
The GOAT. Yes, I'd accept that.
No, because he's the same. For me, he's the same. Like, he needs game time. I think. I think he could play in the Premier League. Southampton.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Haaland really quick.
He's not going to go to Bayern.
Haaland.
He's not going to go to Bayern.
If he does, then the Bundesliga is just done in my eyes.
It already is. It already is done.
But it's doner than done. It's like if it's deceased and under the grave, it's like you went from being 6 feet under to being like to the core of the earth. Like it'd just be. I would be stunned.
But yeah, I can't see Haaland going to Bayern.
So let me propose something for you guys. All right. No Konate. You bring in Kabak. You get Haaland. That's it for you.
Yes.
Kabak and Haaland.
Yes. What? Listen, I would take Haaland alone for a transfer window, and I'd be happy.
No, you guys are foolish.
Mate,
no.
He going to be one of the best, if not the second best or the best player in the world. Haaland and Mbappe is the new Messi Ronaldo.
Listen, if he stayed in the Bundesliga for his entire career, he would break every single goal scoring record there.
Here's the issue, though.
Oh,
How have we just watched this game against Madrid and seen the passing of Diogo Jota, Mane, and Salah trying to interchange with each other, and thought, yeah, I think Haaland, a guy who's linking up plays, underrated but not good, is the solution for our problems. Our side would need to change so fundamentally around Haaland that if
I'd be willing to do that. Yes,
if I'm being honest, I'd be 100% willing to do that.
But
yes. A player like Haaland, who right now is probably in the top 3 strikers in the world right now at this age. Imagine if we keep him for like the next however long. If we tie him down for a long contract.
So how do you reposition Salah and Mane? Because they can't play the way they currently do with Haaland. They have to drop deeper. Are you losing Salah because of that?
I definitely think Mane could.
Mane definitely could. Salah could not.
But then you sell Salah and get Mbappe.
Yes. Fantastic deal.
No, I'm telling you guys.
Jack, don't look at me like that. You play 3-3-4 or whatever.
No, I'm playing the 3-4-3 diamond Ajax in the '92 World Cup.
Ajax played in the World Cup, were they? Fair enough to him.
Oh my God.
Anyways, no, I think this obsession with Haaland or Mbappe, I hate it. Because this side does not need one or two players. It needs several players.
It does, but if you get someone with the caliber of Haaland or Mbappe, who are probably the best talents in the world right now.
Chedu, shut up. We need to address this.
Shay.
No.
To be honest, do we even want to comment on this?
No. Listen, I'm gonna put that down. I'm sorry. Just no. Hold that.
Only time I'd have took Mourinho, there'd have been twice. It was when we got Rafa Benitez in, which he nearly did come to Liverpool in that time, in that season. The only thing is Chelsea have money, and when we got Brendan, but then that was his last season at Madrid. So not now, but he's washed.
Yeah.
By the way, before I forget, Matty, if you're still watching us, reply to my WhatsApp, you dumb idiot. Anyways, moving on.
Damn.
No, Haaland, I think this side needs multiple players. I'm going to pull up this comment from Matty, actually. Give me a second to try and track it down. This I would love. Center back, backup, right back, center mid, and a striker. This is what we need.
Yes, but yeah.
Just Haaland
all right.
will make our team so much weaker.
You know what? I get that point. I get that. In the short term, in short term, yes, Haaland alone wouldn't do much. But if we're thinking long term and the future of Liverpool as a whole, if we get someone like Haaland and then work for the next few years to make the squad around a player of such caliber.
Chedu, why is Dortmund not winning the Bundesliga with Haaland?
I don't watch Dortmund games.
This isn't a true question. They don't have enough talent. They do not have 11 players that can play football in a way at sufficient level to win the Bundesliga. Neither do we.
Yes, but
we can win the Bundesliga.
I think we do. We won the Premier League last season.
Yes.
The changes we need to make this summer are pretty comprehensive. Players that need to move on.
No.
Right.
Let
me take you back to the early 1990s, okay?
Oh, here we go.
Kenny Dalglish gets resigned because of the whole Hillsborough stuff. We bring in Graham Souness, okay? What does Graham Souness do? He changes things too quickly. He brings in players like Ivan Leonardson, Ronnie Rosenthal, players that you guys may not even heard of. That literally fade into insignificance because that's how bad they were. When you change things too quickly, it goes wrong. Man United, Moyes and Van Gaal. Van Gaal was the biggest epitome of changing things too quickly. Like, you just need to bed things in, see what you got. Like Pochettino did at Spurs, Klopp did at Liverpool.
Thank you for making the argument for me then, because you can't bring in just Haaland into this side and change everything.
Oh no, but that was just a concept, isn't it?
Jack, again, I do agree with you there. Like right now, it wouldn't be the greatest decision of all, but saying that we wouldn't win the title with the team we have now. It's just
We didn't.
no. If it weren't for injuries, we would be winning this title, and that's just the truth.
It would
That's
not.
a little bit too far.
It would not.
No, we
lost.
would win.
We drew with Everton. We lost to Villa. We lost to Atletico. The signs were there. This team needed a bit of change.
We wouldn't be in
We
sixth.
picked ourselves up.
We'd be in the top three.
No,
Okay, yeah, fine. We wouldn't be. We would be in the top 4 at the very least. And if we're talking about long term and the future of Liverpool and hopefully the dominance that's going to come in the next few years, if we get someone like Haaland and work for the next 5 or however long years, making a squad around him, a player that is going to retire, in my eyes, is one of the best of all time if he keeps going the way he is right now with the talent he has, and the fact that he's not even at his peak yet, it would be amazing for the future of Liverpool. Yes, right now not the greatest choice, but in the future it would come as a good move.
This debate, Shay, you won't understand, but so in our YouTube group chat, we had a several day.
Oh my god! I muted the chat because of this.
It was a raging. It was like so. Imagine you see 2 people just scrapping it, just fighting in a cafeteria, right? And then I walk up hey, I'm trying to break this up, and I separate them, and then I get a left hook to the face, and then I'm starting to scrap. And then I think after all came in, they were trying to break it up, and then they started to scrap. We had an incredible debate about this that should have been a video, but to summarize that very quickly and eloquently. It is, and in Conference League, I think, is the debate it was about. So the third tier of European football, not just Europe, it's so you have less of a chance of winning the title, but money because you're Conference League. Less money, but a better chance to win the title because of less scheduling conflicts. Money every day for me.
What I will say,
I would take the Conference League.
What I would say is, were you saying that Europa League was a waste of time when we got to the final?
No, you weren't.
Exactly.
Black Hammer, bro. He's there. Don't talk to me, bro. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, I think that definitely.
I'm really regretting it. Right, Black Hammer. I'll show you what I did, why this has happened, because otherwise, mate, I've recorded one video for Total Sport with it as well, with the Tash boys. I recorded one video and it's not going to go out for a week and a half.
You should have kept the stash too.
No, mate, because we lost. So I can't keep it.
I think that's why Ali shaved it too. Is because we lost.
Do you rate it, bruv?
Oh God.
You should have kept the full beard.
All right, I'm gonna remove you if you don't get that off my screen.
Mate, it was a good look. I don't know what you're saying.
No.
Here's the thing though. Back to end this Holland debate. Oh God. Would it be the aesthetically beautiful thing to get Holland or Mbappe? Yes, they are huge names. They could walk into us immediately. Who was the last gargantuan name we signed?
Thiago?
James Milner.
Thiago, besides Thiago.
James Milner. Am I wrong?
No,
Besides Thiago.
Not James Milner. Besides Thiago. Who was the last big name we signed?
Alberto Aquilani.
Don't know who that is.
You don't know who Alberto Aquilani is? Oh my God.
I wouldn't even argue Ali if this is Matty. I would argue Ali because he was at Roma. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was at Roma.
Sorry. He was not a huge name. Maybe he was borderline world class, borderline huge name.
Yeah.
Last huge name. Not even Virgil.
Liverpool and names never go well. Fernando Morientes was one in 2005.
That's my point, Chris. It's never something we've done. Thiago has been a flop transfer. Let's be honest. It's been a flop transfer so far. It'll be great eventually. So far, it's been a flop. You cannot.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm gonna nicely disagree with you there. No. He's not been a flop.
How have his performances this season proven that worthwhile?
Stats back up that he's been better than most of our midfielders.
20 million for him at the end of the day.
We paid $5 million up front. It's not been a flop for a player that we paid $5 million for.
This man, yeah, that was the
Mario Balotelli was the last big name, yeah.
And we all wanted Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah,
I really wanted Alexis Sanchez that summer, but it's because it's what I've wanted to live in London, boys.
let's look at our past of signing big players. It just hasn't worked wonderfully. We've signed borderline players like Luis Suarez from Ajax, like Virgil van Dijk from Southampton, like Alisson from Roma, Salah from Roma, Mane from Southampton, and they've became world class.
But
So we're going to do that again with Rafinha, with Patson Daka, with maybe Kanate, with Kavak. It's just what we do.
mate,
With Jota.
it's right.
What we do.
You're right, but then I would say that there's different gravy between Erling Haaland and Mario Balotelli in terms,
Of course.
and also Morientes and also all the other big name signings we've had. You know, it's like a Dalglish signing, one of the best players in the world at the time. Go and get him. Unbelievable.
The thing is, you're going to leave gaping holes in this squad if you laser your focus in on these big names. Gaping holes. Our midfield does not score. Last year, our midfield was responsible for 36 goal contributions. This year, it's been responsible for 10. It is needing a new face there. We need more depth for the front three. We need a different right back to Nico Williams for depth. We need more center back depth as well. And there are so many gaps in this squad, and we also need a number 9. That just signing Haaland will not cover over any cracks.
But what I will say is, you say that there's so many holes. It's effectively the squad that won the league last year.
Of course,
exactly.
It still has holes. It still has holes.
It has holes.
Let me ask you.
We'll still title challengers on a regular season.
Let me pose it to you this way: which team gets more points? Haaland with a mostly same group as this one, or a refreshed group?
Hey, don't say.
Kanate,
I don't think we'll get Haaland.
And Rafinha.
I don't think we'll get Haaland, bro. If I'm being honest.
Oh, we won't.
I'm not asking if we will. I'm asking this hypothetical situation.
Nah, I think a team with Erling Haaland in is a better team, whatever team it is.
Yes, I agree. I back that. I fully back that.
This season, when we've had so many injuries and struggled so deeply because of them, and say, yeah, let's get a grade 11, and that'll be
because
fine.
If you think about it, it's been the goal scoring that's been the problem.
Exactly.
No, it's I hate this argument. I hate this.
Listen. Okay, the goal scoring has been affected because of the injuries that have happened. I can back that, but
still missed chances though.
Yes, exactly. But the chances we've missed, the amount of times we've gone forward and we've missed chances, the lack of confidence that Sadio Mane and Firmino have had throughout the entire season. Because let's be honest, Mane has been underperforming the entire season. Yeah. That's also a problem. It's not just the fact that we've had injuries and that some of that our midfield hasn't been that great. Also, the forwards haven't been pulling their weight. Apart from Salah, that's the only one that I'm going to say that has actually done well this season despite our shit 2020-2021.
I agree with this, right? You strengthen at the top, but that doesn't mean that this current squad that you had has holes in it. You just need to make
it does.
I think if you say the Liverpool squad has holes in it, then every single squad in the world does.
Of course it does.
Exactly.
There we go. Void statement.
The only unless you're like Man City rich.
Well, no, because they even still have holes.
They do have holes. It's like left back, for example. They have to play a right back there because they haven't been able to sign a good left back in however long. But the thing is, every squad in the world has holes, but they're always going to have holes. Like, what if we bring these players in and we still need a prolific goal scorer?
No one will have a perfect squad. There's not been
exactly.
Oh yes, mate. I never actually had an emo phase. Did any of you guys have emo phases?
No,
that wasn't about it.
Oh mate.
Look, I mean, here's the thing: is this team? You can't. I mean, yes, you could argue with fans, with no injuries, wins the title. You know what? I actually agree with you on that, but that doesn't matter. That's not the reality we're living in. You can't say, "Oh, in a world where it could have been."
But that's the thing. Next season, fans are gonna be back. Next season, Van Dijk's gonna be back, and maybe Gomez throughout at some point throughout the season too.
So does that just end all the problems we've had this year?
No, it definitely doesn't. But it doesn't mean that we can't challenge for the league because we don't bring the Rafinhas or the Konate or the Dakas. So it's like both sides, you can make an argument, but realistically, both have a lot of wrong parts. No.
Yes, Noel. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Take that down. Take that down. No,
Yes.
No, Oxlade. No.
When he came on against Wolves, change the game, boys. Change the game.
Look, here's the thing: is this squad? You cannot be blinded by I don't know, just favoritism or anything like that. The squad has just many holes in it that need to be filled. And if I'm gonna pull this up. Yes, I agree with my point, but it's also just a contract. It's an opinion that I think is just spot on. We're not winning anything with this team with only very slight changes. I would love Haaland. I would love Mbappe. But you know what? It's going to be players like Suarez. Suarez is the backup number 9 for a free. Would love that.
I would take him. On a free.
I think that we need to be more effective. And we cannot just break with Liverpool Football Club and what we do. Because this team, right, needs players that are on the verge of greatness, not at greatness yet. That's what we've done historically, had success with it, should not break with that. And you know what? Matty, you're spot on. This would be a 10 out of 10 window. Maybe
I genuinely think that would be but my issue with Suarez is I don't like going back and signing former players, boys. I'm not a fan.
For me, is that Suarez is a player that still holds a lot of quality within him. The fact that he would be on a free,
but here's the thing:
would be fantastic.
He replaces Origi as our super sub striker, and Suarez can score.
Luis Suarez is happy with being a super sub striker with his career winding down. I think he wants to play as much football as he wants.
No, I think he'd love to come back. I think he'd love to.
Yeah. What? Okay. Okay. Where can you see Suarez going? Because if he doesn't,
I can see him going to the MLS. I can see him going to
exactly. So would he prefer playing on let's say in DC United or playing in Liverpool and what hopefully is Champions League season?
Suarez at Liverpool, he was
playing every week. He'd be playing every week, and when you're an older footballer, that's all you care about. You've got your money, you got your paycheck.
But why can't Suarez start for us next year?
I don't think he can't start. Of course he can't. He's not mobile enough anymore. Like if you want him to play like Roberto Firmino does, or for example, like any of our players have to, we have to defend from the front. Luis Suarez is not mobile enough for that anymore. I'm sorry, no way. In an ideal world, he would be a backup striker, but
I don't see how Suarez could turn it down. You know, nice paycheck, city that loves him. Go back and win a title that you couldn't win. It's just a storybook finish. It is something that would fit perfectly with his career winding down, and I think he'd love a better club because
you've also got
Rodgers. Think back to
what?
him under Rodgers. He was chasing down every long ball. He was pressing like a maniac, and he was the only one doing it. He was doing a single-handed pressing system by himself. Yeah, he can't do that anymore, but he has that mentality.
He has it. Yeah. The issue is, mate, he's 34, not 26 anymore. That's the problem. Like for me, it would be a backward signing for me.
I don't think it would because it's just
in my opinion, he would do better in this Liverpool squad than Origi does.
Yeah, but this isn't an ideal world. If I was Luis Suarez, I want to go somewhere for football, and Liverpool wouldn't give me football.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that this season and last season are two completely contrasting things. We weren't lucky with injuries last season, but we were lucky that they weren't in key areas. There was like Alisson out for a few matches, Fabinho out for a few matches, Henderson out for a few matches. Those came up, yes, but we avoided a staple of the team. Like losing Salah out to a long-term injury, that'd be devastating. Losing Virgil, obviously, is a devastating injury. So it's been a case of there was not supreme luck and supreme unluck, but it was kind of a mix of that.
Every team needs luck to win a title.
And here's the thing. I'm going to point back to Manchester City, right? 3-year window of sorts. Centurions scrape it past us, fall apart. 3 seasons. Now they're in the 4th season of that. They've rebuilt, changed things around, and they're back. Look at us. Barely miss out to City, win the title this season. Next year is our 4-year bounce back that Man City have had. That exact need for a slight change, not complete change, but slight change, pulling Bobby into a 10, signing a number 9 like a Suarez or a Daka, then that's just how we need to change things up slightly. Because what can teams do now? They can sit back and we ain't scoring on them. We're peppering in crosses, and if it's not Diogo Jota getting one against Arsenal, we're not scoring headers.
That's been a problem for 5 years.
Of course it has. But in the title-winning year, was that a problem? No.
Yeah, I mean, we struggled to get past most teams. Like in the title-winning year, we won. I think it was 11 or 12 games by 1 goal.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Even then, we were still managing to win the games. We were still managing to pull something out of the bag to end up winning the game.
It comes down.
I think it'll be another 10 out of 10 window. This one, as well as this one. I think anything that has Konate, Kabak, a midfielder that could be a bit more creative.
I can see Bissouma and Madison both coming in on the same window. They would both go for a lot of money, especially Madison. I think that would be really, really unrealistic unless FSG pulls something out of the bag and decide to give us the magic 70 million that Chris decided to give us.
And why would Madison come to Liverpool?
That's a good question.
That's also another thing, exactly. Especially if Leicester end up in a Champions League spot and we don't.
Exactly. It would be stupid. And he's the main creator in that team. And he's pretty much guaranteed a game every week. So why would he come? Be stupid. But happy days.
Yeah.
Trent in midfield.
No.
Actually, I will parking back to my absolute genius management and my 3-4-3 diamond at the game. I played him in the right side of center midfield too, that kind of position themselves a bit wider. I don't know. I just think that Trent is a supremely talented footballer that can play in many positions very well. But it's just I don't even
wait, Jack.
Spot on. I love this.
I take Buendia.
Yeah.
I take Buendia.
That's gonna.
But hey, Jack. If we're gonna go into the FM talk, let me just jump back into an old debate and say that in every FM save of mine, Haaland has joined Liverpool and they won the league 5 times in a row.
Well,
I'm just saying.
In my FM,
I'm just saying.
Haaland currently plays for Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, your save is broken. I mean, if you play with that team, I'm not surprised.
On this, I'm going to propose another championship player. I got laughed out of town last year when I proposed that Liverpool should sign a championship player, and that player was Ollie Watkins. And look how well he's
look at him now.
It was a bad call for Liverpool. He's a good
Do you
player.
think? Because I think he'd be class for us.
He doesn't play well for us now.
I think Ivan Toney would be the player that I would sign. If we're talking championship, got verging on the record goals already for Brentford, coming from a system that's very, very, very similar to ours. I think he has got the potential to be a top level striker. He's not as young as some others, but that may mean that his price is a little bit lower. Who knows?
I love the FM talk. I don't know. I just
Some future transfers, Camavinga and De Jong to join us in the next 3 years, perhaps.
Yeah. I think that I just do not like the idea of signing made names that are household ones. They're great, obviously, but I think that knowing FSG's great ability to sign players for lower than they should be signed for, and just like Pedro Neto, the dude is unreal. He's not talked about nearly enough. The likes of, I don't know. Say that again.
Is he though? Is he that? Because I've heard so much about Neto.
He's the best under 21 player in the league, and he's not talked about like that.
Not for me.
Who's better? Phil Foden. Sorry, second best.
There we go. Saka. Saka's better in my opinion.
No, he's not.
Yes, for me, he is. For me, he very much is.
It's
Mason Greenwood.
Pedro Neto plays in a team, maybe Greenwood, but he's up there. Think about how, they're all English, yes. Think about how Foden, Greenwood, and Saka are all talked about versus Pedro Neto.
Not for me. No.
What don't you like about Pedro Neto? What don't you like about him?
I don't know. I just think he costs way too much money for what he is. Like, if we were talking for 35, 40 million, I'd be like, yeah, cracking. I think he costs 70.
And he's 21. He could be anywhere across the front three, and he'd just be a phenomenal signing. And you want to know why he'd be better than Haaland as a signing? he'd be significantly cheaper, and he wouldn't come in demanding first-team place.
He'd definitely more realistic, but if I got offered the two, I think Neto would be expensive, like really expensive, especially because of Jota.
Exactly.
See, these two guys are, I think, just make complete sense. Zakaria and DePaul.
Yeah.
They're guys who are good players, not quite established, and they would literally combine cost like 45, 50 million pounds.
True.
Just-
And Zakaria has been linked with us for years now. So
Yeah, Zakaria is 20 million and DePaul is 25 million, I think, something like that. That's kind of it's just smart business that we make so often that I think it just makes too much sense.
If Genie goes and Ox goes,
he will.
sure, I'd definitely be well up for that.
By the way, I would love to get a new contract for Genie.
No, he's 30 years old. He's 30 years old.
Was Milner a bad signing at 30?
No,
But the difference is Milner is world class. Genie isn't.
Genie's
What?
fallen off a cliff this season, mate. He's fallen off a cliff.
Milner, listen,
No.
Milner this season, Genie at his top. That's just me.
Genie
That's
went
what's made
out.
up.
No, Milner came in at 29. We needed a player like that. I think there's way more I think Genie's the most replaceable player in the team.
Who is by definition he's not.
Do you know?
I mean, if we're talking about the starting
Who's
11,
who's
yes.
more replaceable in the best starting 11 that we've got?
Yeah,
Say-
he is.
Who's more
to be
replaceable?
I wouldn't start with our current midfield. I wouldn't start Genie in a midfield 3.
Exactly, Chuckle. If the squad is aging, I'd 100% get Zakaria for 20 million and get rid of Genie every day.
Exactly.
I would do
And-
both. I would keep Genie and get Zakaria.
No.
Because look, Wijnaldum literally has played the most minutes of any of our players. I'm fairly certain of this. I don't know if that's replaceable.
So,
I don't
in
know.
an underperforming season with injuries.
He has
Mate.
played third most minutes with Robertson and Salah.
He's been dog, mate, if I'm being honest. The last
He's had
few
to play as a defensive mid. He's not a defensive mid.
not in the last few weeks, he hasn't been. He's been terrible then.
You know what? I'm not going to say that. And guess what? What performance has he been bad in that was not a team-wide bad performance?
Well, I don't think he's really stood out in any game this season.
It's not his job to set up. He set up that goal. Great point by Jake Paul's brother, Jack Paul. That he
Would you give Genie Wijnaldum a £200,000 a week contract?
Yes.
Is that
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
no chat.
No,
He'll be
Jack,
34 by the
stop
end
it.
of
Jack, stop
He'll
it.
be 34 by the end of it. It's ridiculous.
Let me point you to last season.
FSG do not give long-term contracts to old players
Based on what?
based on the
Except
fact
Milner, of course.
they're injured, bro.
Milner. What old player have they shirked out because of age?
What they've done with Milner is given him a rolling 1-year contract, and the last contract he signed was after the Tories won an election, so that's 2-year contract he got from that.
And
So
do you think that Milner is a more sustainable player than Wijnaldum?
Yes.
Wijnaldum's 6 years younger than him.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I'm saying, like, in terms of when we were giving him a contract.
Taking James Milner in his prime, I'd 100% take him over Genie Wijnaldum.
Oh, of course I would as well, yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Wijnaldum versus that. And Wijnaldum last year had 4 goals in the Prem when he was able to play as a more forward-thinking midfielder. He is as good a passer in the squad as any of them. And after that Madrid game, you cannot look at that and say that we should get rid of him and sign a player like Zakaria.
I 100%.
Zakaria should not get rid of Wijnaldum.
£200,000 a week.
Yes.
It's not financially viable, mate.
Yes.
It would be utterly ridiculous.
Jack,
How can you look at
if we were able to do that, we would have done it already because they tried to give him a new contract, but he's asking for more than we can give him, and it's not worth it at this age.
I'm not saying that it's something that's going to happen. I'm saying it should happen.
No.
What player?
Too much for too much money for a 30-year-old player that wouldn't make it into a starting midfield when everyone's available.
We've got one of the oldest squads in the league as well. Don't forget that.
So what's the solution then?
I think Wijnaldum goes
He
on
goes.
free. You get
He goes.
one of XYZ players.
You cannot
Exactly.
tell me that signing Wijnaldum on a slightly overpaid contract is worse business
Slightly?
than letting him walk on a free.
Slightly overpaid contract.
It's for 4 years, bearing in mind. So let's put that in. So £200,000 a week. So that's what? 52 weeks. How do you put that's £10 million a year plus. So that's £40 million you're spending on his contract. For a player that probably won't play in the last 2 years.
Probably won't play. Milner's been playing.
Not that much. If we had the choice, he wouldn't be.
Hey, Chris, please.
No, Wijnaldum has been one of our better players this season, and he's often the most slandered player week in, week out. Because guess what? Wijnaldum is not going to win your game single-handedly. That's not what you have him for. He's there to be able to control the tempo, to be a stabilizing force, and to be a leader.
If a leader,
be a leader. No, Jack, no, Jack.
This is the most moronic argument ever. To look at a match and decide that he's not being a leader because he doesn't yell.
He doesn't even lead by example either.
Is he not? Is Messi not? He picked up the ball and ran 40 yards, set up a goal.
That's the only thing he's done in the last 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so were you about to say Messi? Did I hear you saying?
Not a good leader.
The only reason why Messi has the armband is because he's Messi. That's the only reason.
What has Messi won as captain of Barcelona?
Why is Ronaldo not a good leader? Why is Ronaldo not a good leader?
I don't think he sets the example. B has the communication.
Why? What do you have to rationalize that for you?
The fact that he's fourth choice captain, not second or first.
Well, that's because Virgil's a better captain. That's because Henderson's a better captain.
I would say that we would be better off without him as a captain.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Just my opinion.
But why?
Because I don't think he gets in our best team, and I don't think
he has to. He doesn't have to get in. Why is there?
I mean, getting in the first team isn't really an argument. Milner is a second captain, and
his communication skills are not as good.
Why?
Obviously, we don't know that.
Well, here's why I hate the leadership argument. We're not in the dressing room. We're not on the field. We don't know.
But you brought it up. You brought it up.
Because he is a good leader. Why is
how do you know that? How do you know that then?
Because he's the fourth choice captain, you idiots.
Because maybe he's giving Jurgen a little sucky and
Jack, Origi was gonna get the armband for a game. That doesn't mean that he's necessarily a good leader.
Say that again, Chedu, sorry.
Origi was about to get the armband for one of the games. Doesn't necessarily make him a good leader. Yes, he's the fourth, but it doesn't mean that he's good. It might just mean that the others aren't good enough.
So you know more than Klopp does.
But that argument can be used in all situations.
Exactly.
How? He is the fourth choice captain.
Jurgen, why did you play Naby Keita? And if you criticize him, do you know more than Klopp does?
No, I'm not claiming that. But
here's the same thing, though.
There's a difference between watching players play on a field versus what happens in the dressing room and the way that they leak off the field.
He doesn't set the example on the pitch, in my opinion.
I don't understand how you can say that after
because I don't think he's been
after setting up one goal.
He certainly doesn't set the example off the pitch with his contract.
How so? He said nothing about it.
He's
all we heard are rumors.
Mate, he wants money. It's all about money.
How do we know?
Because okay, that's what's come out. And obviously, why would he? We've obviously offered him. It's come out that we've offered him a deal, and he wants more money.
Has he said, "Hey, it's going to happen"? Has he said, "I want more money. I'm not happy here"? No, he said, "I love."
His agent has.
Has his performances been bad because of the contract? No.
Well, I think his performances have been bad. Full stop.
Yeah, I can back that.
There have been players in that midfield that have been, besides Fabinho, he's been our second best midfielder this season.
That's not really a good thing, mate. I think Jones
is he a victim to bad performances elsewhere?
Maybe, but I think if he's, exactly, if the team has to play well for him to play well, then surely he's expendable.
Look, here's the thing: is if you're going to penny pinch for our only available midfielder this season, makes no sense.
Well, we're not going to penny pinch, brother. He's going.
Exactly.
Well, we are penny pinching.
Mate,
we're a football club, and we're saying we don't have enough money for this.
No, we don't. It's not. It's a viable financial situation here. You're paying a 30-year-old £200,000 a week.
And
for
why are we just looking at this?
£1
Is Wijnaldum's interest from Inter Milan, from Barcelona, from Man City even, is that going to go away after this season? Sell him next summer, make transfer money for him. Why are we just
but the reason why all of these teams wanted him have come up now more than ever is because he's leaving on a free. They don't have to pay a transfer fee for the player.
Like Emre Can. It's like Emre Can, bro. Like what?
Exactly.
Juventus
one of the best midfielders in the world. Wijnaldum is one of the best midfielders in the world. Yes.
I would have said that 2 years ago.
And what's changed? How has performances decreased?
I think they have been worse, personally.
How so?
They've just not been as good, bruv. He's not.
Based on what?
Based on my eye test.
Wijnaldum is in the 99th percentile of pass completion percentage in Europe.
Joe Allen was in the 99th percentile.
Stat merchant.
Joe Allen.
He just plays. He is.
And right, okay, you may be right there, but there's hundreds of players in the world who can be like that.
No, there are not.
There is, bro.
No, there are not.
There's plenty.
Then why aren't there? Then why aren't there?
There is. There's more. If you put Joe Allen in Liverpool's system again in 2020, he would be exactly the same. Obviously, nowhere near as good, but like that is just how he does his job well, or he did his job well, in my opinion. Now's the time to move him on. It's the right time.
How?
Because there's players out there who can do it.
But what are the players on Liverpool side, right? Henderson, love him. Not injury prone, borderline to that point. He's had many muscular injuries that could make him injury prone. Keita hasn't proven it. Oxlade-Chamberlain hasn't proven it. Milner's, if you're going to say that,
Hey.
Milner is aging. Right? But
so your only current midfield options are Fabinho and Curtis Jones that you have realistically to be reliable.
Yeah.
And Thiago's also injury prone.
Is he?
Not injury prone. He
had one injury and had COVID.
Exactly.
He's a victim to injuries. Wijnaldum has been one of our best performers this season. You can have agendas all you want.
This isn't an agenda. This is true here, okay? Right. If you think about the money we'll pay Gini Wijnaldum, £40 million over 4 years, right? Plus maybe 44 million pounds. Okay. Let him go on a free this summer. You sign, say, Dennis Zakaria for 20 million.
Let me list you players that currently make more money than Gini Wijnaldum at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to list everybody. I'm going to list the ones that I think are unfairly getting paid more. Joel Matip is being paid 10 grand more. No, it's not the case. No, it's not. Do you want to know why this is a very simple answer? How many players have played as much as him?
Not many.
There you go.
That's what I'll say to him. Fair play. He's been available. That's about it. This is right. So Jack, this is your point from earlier. We need to refresh the squad, right?
Yes.
But you want to continue handing out contracts to an aging player?
Because he's not aging.
Of
course he's aging, yes, because that's how age works. But he is literally at his prime, and he's like James Milner. James Milner still plays great football at 35. Wijnaldum's game does not lose its ability with age.
What is he good at?
What is he good at? He's good. He's he's great with control on the ball. He's a good engine. He's got an incredible passing ability. That's not going to go away with age.
Yeah, but he hasn't. Then he won't have the legs after that, surely.
Milner's
one in a million.
Gini Wijnaldum keeps hold of the ball too long. His passing is negative. It's always behind people. Mate, I'm being honest. 200 grand a week, it would not be worth it. If you say to me, right, he'll get a 10 grand pay rise from what he's on. Sure.
That would be an embarrassment if that was our offer to him. He's making 90 grand currently, and if he was offered 10 grand more, these players would still make more than him. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, Milner, and then everyone else is world class. That'd be an embarrassment. And who said that 200K a week is what he wants?
Lots of very, very reliable sources.
Let's look it up. I'm going to talk while I'm looking this up.
Yeah, so we'll move it on.
We're not moving it on.
Real quick, I wanna touch a point while Jack is looking it up. I saw this coming from Shay, saying, "Why does this club give people the armband the people who clearly don't want to be there, like Coutinho and Emre Can?" I think it's mostly because
I
they
think
do it. I think they do it with the hopes that they don't go because they're giving them the armband. I think that was the case with Coutinho at the very least.
And I do think, right, to Genie, like my personal opinion of Genie has gone down in the last 12 months. Okay. But I do think he's trying his best. I do think he's trying his best. Unlike those two, especially towards the end. I'm not personally, it wouldn't be worth the money for me.
I don't see how you can watch that Madrid game and our complete inability to pass the ball and say
Jack,
that
Jack, you just focusing on one game of his where he got where he started a really good move. Yes, I agree with that.
If you look at the rest of the game, he was shocking.
Exactly.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But to slander Wijnaldum as a player who is indirect and who has done all of these great things for a football club, his performances have not deteriorated for several years. He deserves the contract. So what's the message we're sending to players then, right? You can play phenomenal for us. And yes, you can be getting old with time. But, I mean, I don't know, man. You're 30 years old. Too bad.
Look at Barcelona. They've kept hold of players too long.
That would be a problem if it was a continuous issue. This is the first time we could do it. Making an exception is okay, especially when it's a player as good as Wijnaldum and a player who can provide as much as he does. He is dependable, and when he's playing in his natural position, he's one of our best players. He's been playing as a defensive mid.
Genuinely
playing with worse players.
All right, yes. Jack. In a normal season, fans and 0 injuries, what would be your starting 3 midfielders?
It would be Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago.
This is exactly my opinion.
Exactly.
He has been a wonderful player for this football club. Okay, I'd even go as far as to say he's a hero for the club. Okay, not a legend, a hero. Okay, but he's not worth 200 grand a week.
At this day and age, the way his game has been going, the fact that he's 30, he's 30, right?
30 years old.
Yeah, he's 30 and he's just getting older. That much money for him is not worth it.
By that logic, every contract in history is bad because the player's getting older.
What?
It's not just because he's 30. It's like, in my opinion, paying him that much for his ability is not worth it because I can't see him starting enough for us. So I don't think that would be.
Let me put it to you this way. I'm, say, Sadio Mane. Knock on the door. Jurgen, why are you paying Genie God knows how much more than me when I provide for the team more than he does?
Well,
when he starts daily.
Mane makes 10 grand more than Wijnaldum does right now.
I say Wijnaldum more money
than he does right now.
Mane is outpaid by Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, Milner, Henderson, Alisson, Van Dijk, Firmino, Salah, Thiago.
Yeah. Say, for example, Trent Alexander-Arnold says, knock on the door. This lad's 30 years old and getting paid God knows how much more than me.
When he's not starting. If
he's
in
not
a normal season, I can see him.
Andy Robertson, knock on the door. I think it would cause rifts. If it were me, it would. Especially when it's someone who you say, right, he's just there to do a job. He does his job very well. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But he's not someone who goes and wins you a game.
If you say he's not someone to win you a game, I would argue he won us our most important game in recent history.
Okay, Divock Origi, give him a new contract.
No.
There we go.
That's just
it's the same logic, mate. It's the same logic.
Exactly. Listen, next season, when everyone's fit, Wijnaldum's not gonna start as much as he's been doing right now. But Origi's not starting at all.
You can't look at football in a vacuum like that. You can't do that. You have to recognize that there are exterior conditions. The fact is that Wijnaldum will easily play 30 matches a year for the rest of his career for 5 years. And if you think this is dragging on, so I'll have my last point. Is Wijnaldum's game at 34 going to be significantly different than his game at 30?
Yes.
How has it changed?
James Milner's game has changed over the last 4 or 5 years.
Of course it has. He's shifted back a bit more. But how is Wijnaldum's game going to change?
I think it'll be exactly the same. Like,
Exactly.
in terms of what with Milner, like I think he's literally a Dutch Milner at the end of the day, and he doesn't bring the quota. He plays as Jack says, and play but provide nothing. Exactly.
No, you cannot compare James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum. They're different players. They're different players. The only comparison is
they do the same role. They do the same thing.
No, they don't. They
do.
So does Mane and Jota? They both play left wing.
They're different players, but they're there to do the same thing, to score goals.
They're different players. Is the point I'm making. Wijnaldum, his ability will not deteriorate over 4 years.
They're different players, but they bring the same worth to the team, right?
So your argument is that it is financially irresponsible to sign Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Why is it not financially irresponsible to allow a player who could be worth easily 40, 50 million pounds to walk for free?
Well, no, because he won't be. He won't. Do you think a club will come in next season for a 31-year-old player and pay 50 million pounds? Because if you do, you're mental.
No, Jack, no.
You're mental. No one pays that. Thiago's a far higher quality footballer. He's 1 year younger than Wijnaldum. He went for 20.
Because he was
and five up front. So
yeah. So I think we've got to agree to disagree on this.
That's fair. I think at the end of the day, if his contract demands were say 150 grand a week and Liverpool weren't paying that, I'd be furious because he'd slot right ahead of Henderson. And I will leave the debate now because I'm going to be rent free with this in my head for the rest of the day. But for the betterment of the stream, we'll move on. We'll move for an hour and a half. So thank you all for tuning in and interacting with us. I want to shift the discussion to one last thing before we kind of move on a little bit. Another midfielder, Naby Keita, in out. There's been recent rumors that he could potentially leave, especially after that substitution. So in terms of selling him or keeping him, financially responsible, irresponsible, same kind of idea. Should Keita be a Liverpool player next season?
Yes, for me. He's still got time.
How long does that statement last, though?
I'd say he's got next season. He's got next season to make a real impact. Prove that he's worth the 50 million quid that we paid.
This is true, by the way. He's trying to get a bit more from Jurgen, so he's like, "Hey, Jack, I'm going to pay you half my wages.
half my new wages that I'm going to get."
I'll sign on bonus with him.
I think Keita's got next season. And to be fair, I thought he'd only have this season, but when he started off this season, he played the first 6 matches of the season, and he was excellent.
Yeah.
Look, he's going to have to do the same and more next season in order to get a contract. He's a wonderful footballer. He really is. Very good aesthetically. Yes, doesn't really get the numbers that he should, but he doesn't get forward enough to do that. I personally think, again, who's going to pay the money for him? Who's going to pay money for him if we do sell him this season?
I disagree. I think he's very good. Chedu, before I give my perspective, keep Keita. And I think also some added context is, does his sale is requisite in bringing in necessary players?
I'm going to say no to that second question. I don't think... you know what? I'm willing to give him another year, although it's like borderline yes over no, because yes, I do agree that the talent is there. I do agree that he is a great player and he can be even better, but he hasn't done enough for me. I'm willing to let him play for another year, but I understand questioning Naby.
Yeah.
Because it gets to the point where, okay, you've been here for years. When do we say enough is enough?
Yeah.
And if he can have a good end to this year, and if he can have a good next year, I can see him staying with us for longer.
Yeah.
But if it's just the same thing over and over again, he just needs to go on. The sad part is we'll never get even close to the amount of money we bought him for. But yeah.
My nightmare is that we sell him and he just balls out somewhere else. Because He's unbelievably talented. And I think that until he gets injured again, I don't want that. He's always injured to be brought up because we have almost changed Naby Keita's, right? He had the and I agree with this from not me. So there's with no injuries, he's world class.
Yeah.
And then but he's always injured. If he actually does escape that with the program he went under after his most recent injury, if he actually can avoid injuries for a long time, then I think we gotta let him have football at Liverpool for a consistent amount of time. He's never had that, and I think nobody is just given a blanket right to play for this football club. But considering how much we spent on him, how much his potential is, I think we just give him next year at most. And if not, just that next year, try and develop a bit more. This, however, if this was a potential offer for Tielemans from Leicester, man, I'd have a tough time saying
I'd 100% love to do that, but I can't see it happening.
That wouldn't happen.
But I would, if it was like Keita plus a small fee for Tielemans, it would break my heart. My heart would break a million pieces, but it would be the better thing to do.
I mean, didn't a report come out that they do want to sign Naby? That a report came out saying that they do want to sign Naby in the summer.
This actually also is a very interesting point. It's just like sometimes it's just doesn't work out.
Luis Alberto was a lot worse than Naby Keita.
Of course he was, but he's doing a great job.
Yeah, but it's the point. It's the point of he didn't work for us, but now in another team he's doing great.
Yeah.
But does it hurt seeing Luis Alberto succeed? No, but it would
exactly
succeed, man. I mean, hindsight is 50.
Two very different players, in my opinion.
I think they're pretty similar, but they would be creative-ish states. So
Fekir more further forward.
Yeah, it would be a bit further forward as well. But I mean, it's like you can't look at it like that because we know how it turned out, right? But I mean, you couldn't have planned for that.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I would love to see Keita get more time, but if it's the case where it's like as Shay mentioned, you can get Tielemans, you can get a play like that. If you get rid of Keita, I'd have a hard time saying no because that'd just be a serious upgrade. So last thing I want to touch on before I'm done with everything I want to talk about, Villa tomorrow. Thoughts? We're gonna have, I believe, Chedu. Are you gonna be on pre-match or no?
Post.
Okay.
Pre.
And Chris, you're.
I'm not around.
You're doing cricket all day.
Playing cricket. Like I said.
Let us know your score predictions in the comments for Villa tomorrow. No Jack Grealish. Just take them. I won't have you boys in pre-match tomorrow. Your thoughts for pre-match as well as a predicted score. Chris.
Look. Why should I've tried to predict things, but because ex-boys had players are injured, City had players missing, that I don't really like to take that into account anymore because when Liverpool play, it's a lottery of which one turns up. Look, I quite like to see a few different players play in preparation, rest a few players for Real Madrid in a week. I back us. I do back us. Hopefully, because we want to respond from the game, and because top four is still possible.
Yeah, very much.
A lot more possible than it seemed a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. In terms of pre-match predictions, I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Chedu?
1-0. For us. Recently, it's tough for me to say that we will score more than once. The Arsenal game, of course, it was amazing, but then the Real Madrid game brought me a little bit back to reality. I think a 1-0 win would be good. Of course, Grealish is out there. Most of their attacking threat is gone with them. But yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say that. You said Vinicius and Asensio wouldn't.
Yeah, Chedu, I think I'm just gonna have you stop talking.
No, you know what? Wait, you know what? Watkins isn't gonna do anything. Not go without Jack Grealish. What other play? McGinn finished.
Hey, Traore.
Emi Martinez, he's a trash goalkeeper. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're you know what 7-0. Yeah, fuck it,
Yeah.
7-0.
Boys, we're going to win the league.
You know, I'm still holding hope that they will take at least 70 points off Manchester City for whatever reason, and we're gonna win the league that way. So it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Chedu. Well, I will save my pre-match prediction for tomorrow when I will be there live before the match starts. 2 p.m. UK time. Make sure to join us then. Had a lot of great involvement, especially on YouTube. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications so you get notified whenever we release a video, go live, anything of the sort. But it was a great hour and 40 minutes. Some heated debate about Genie Wijnaldum, and I appreciated that. How dare Chedu disrespect McGinney has to?
I think James Milner at 42 is double the player he is now.
Just want to say he had a dodgy knee, mate. He had a dodgy knee.
He did have a dodgy knee. But anyways, that is going to do it for our live stream for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And for Chris, Chedu, appreciate your time. And for Chris and Chedu, I've been Jack, and this has been the LFC Transfer Room. Have a good rest of your day.